Here for round 2, hand's pretty reasonable. This hand would be much better on the play than on the draw. That's kind of the case with most hands, but especially this hand glutted with 3s. If our opponent's ramping, that is bad news. Bad news. Yep. Looks to be a ramp strategery. It's like kind of tempting to actually just concede game 1, especially with my hand and being on the draw. But there is always that semblance of hope where maybe my opponent's draw is just not great. You know, it's entirely possible. I could in theory win. Elvish Visionary is kind of whatever, you know. All right, Mantis Rider, you got a lot of work to do. You must carry me. Here's a shrine and a sanctum and some veggies. So our stuff might just be getting blown up by world breakers. And that ain't good. That's not good. We do have the Crackling Doom to get rid of it. If it's Ugin, kind of just dead. I don't think playing Soulfire does anything. So we will painfully truth some stuff. More not really do anything. I think we can ship this Roast pretty safely. I feel like a land is more valuable, especially if we're going to get our world broken here. If it's Ugin, that's just game. If it's Ugin, Lightning Bolt, my Mantis Rider, or Ghostfire, my Mantis Rider. Now my opponent can Oath of Nissa, find a big creature. My opponent just bricks this turn. That would be phenomenal, but yeah, it could just be fine to land, play a 7. Yep, adding 2 colors with Shrine does not bode well for me. Yeah, taking out my swamp is pretty bad too, because I don't have another swamp to fetch, and if I fetch Battle Land, it's going to come into play tapped. So I think we just play Mantis Rider, and I guess playing the Marsh is kind of silly, because we can always just fetch a basic and then play the Marsh next turn. Yeah, there's no way that this is worse, because I can't play 2 black spells next turn no matter what. So hopefully the opponent just doesn't have Ulamog. But they didn't even sack Sanctum, which is bad news. So they have to have another big thing. Yeah, Chandra, that counts. That counts. That's -3. And then maybe this World Breaker attacks, maybe it doesn't. Oh, it does attack. Okay. Okie doke. Kind of giving me a shot here. Like, if I had Mantis Rider, I could just take out Chandra, but I'll just Crackling Doom do the same thing. Oh, a little Hedron Crawler. That's so cute. Oh, so now I can Mantis Rider and kill the Chandra. I think that's got to be better than using Crackling Doom. We end up going to 4. My opponent only has 8 mana, so it's possible the Crawler actually gets him to Ulamog. But I can't really do anything about that Crawler anyway, so whatever. Oh yeah, I was going to Mantis Rider instead. Then play a little Hase. And I think the Mantis Rider is better. Like, we don't really care about taking the hit for 5. I would rather just not give my opponent the chance to rebuy Worldbreaker and recast it. Yeah, so they're just kind of messing around with Visionary and getting some more lands. Maybe another Hedron Crawler. Sure. Whatever. And no attacks. Interesting. So first things first, I think we should loot. Now we can play Soulfire and Crackling Doom and attack. And probably just tick up on Visionary. We can't really stop Ulamog or anything from happening, so there's no point to like flashing back Roast or something like that. So it's possible we get our world broken again. Nothing you can really do. Ulamog's obviously the nightmare, but yeah, Ugin's kind of the nightmare too, I guess. They're all nightmares. So opponent probably has to Ugin -3. And then they can start returning Worldbreaker. Yeah, we're kind of just dead. Excuse me. We're gonna fight the good fight. Till we get Ulamogged. See what Sanctum turns up. Another Ulamog. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad news. Some of these decks are only playing one Ulamog now. Yeah, we did. Got him down to 6. Maybe if we were on the play, we could have won that game, but my opponent probably, you know, slow played a bunch of stuff too. So it's pretty unlikely that we could have won regardless. So Soulfires don't really do anything. Neither does Obnixilus, really. Want to keep in some Fire Impulses to kill the Mana Dorks. Definitely want all the Crackling Dooms to force the Manus Riders through. Kalitas is fine to make sure that Worldbreaker doesn't come back. And then just a bunch of discard and counter spells. And that's it. Just gotta disrupt them. Play a threat. Hope that's good. So I like the post-board config. A lot of times it is still tough to win 2 of the 3 games, even though my deck is kind of configured to be good against this deck post-board, because it's certainly not a lock. And this hand is not great. Like, I don't have a Jace, I don't have a Mantis Rider, I don't even have white mana. But I do have a Negate and a Kalitas, so I think this is a keep. Don't have any discard, but alright, that helps. Now, if our opponent plays Mana Dork, we can potentially Crackling Doom it, but we could also just hold open Negate. I think I just want to Crackling Doom the Dork. If they have Pilgrimage, that's bad, but If they don't have a 3, then I actually get a turn of reprieve. Yeah, Pilgrimage. Beats. Beats. Alright, well now since they ramped, I think I have to jam Kalitas, and now things are just falling apart. The Crackling Doom gives me a little insurance, though, which is nice. My opponent's just ramping away. Now I have this stupid negate in my hand that may not do anything. So if my opponent has World Breaker, they'll probably take out the Monastery. I can fetch white off the Delta. Crackling Doom, exile the thing. Get a zombie. Yeah, Hedron Crawlers, whatever. So, Prairie Stream, dig through time, ideally find a land so we can Chandra away all this nonsense and make some zombies. Mystic Monastery. Boo! Boo. So we could potentially just pick up Painful Truths. Duress is the thing that I want the most, I think. But I could also see, like Painful Truths Fire Impulse, Painful Truths Duress, something along those lines. Because I really don't want my opponent to get to Ulamog Mana next turn. I could also see just like taking Duress Impulse. Maybe taking out Ugin, but I also have Ugin covered with Negate. So I guess Duress doesn't really do anything. So yeah, I think I want Impulse and Painful Truths. Alright, Transgress is nice. That certainly helps. Okay, that's cool. Down with that. Ugin and Chandra. So that's fine with me. I'm going to take the Ugin because they have the Sanctum. I'm going to negate whatever they play, so it really doesn't matter all that much. So the consideration is, do I want them to pop Sanctum and use more mana on the Ugin, or do I want them to just have Chandra and maybe be able to cast another spell? I'd much rather just take the Ugin, make it so they can't use Sanctum. And then Impulse the Morph. Get some more zombies. Which is weird, because normally it's like the token maker. If if my Kalitas were foiled, then it would make foil tokens, but since my Impulse is foil, it makes a foil token. That's kind of weird. But yeah, that's fine. They can play Chandra, I'll negate that. And then I'm pretty well set up. And you just concede. Interesting. I think they're still drawing live, assuming I had nothing, but whatever. So they have Rattleclaw and Hedron Crawler, so I think I want all the impulses. So then how does that change things? I don't know, I want all these cards. Maybe on the draw I don't have time to be casting Painful Truths. That just seems silly. I know Kalitas won me that game, but I think it is the worst card on the draw. The worst card I have access to, anyway. So we'll try that. We might be a little light on win conditions now, but I think it's still doable. And come on, good opener. Duress into Jace. Let's go down that route. We haven't gotten to do anything fun like that yet. Little greedy, I know, but kind of need to be greedy to win this matchup. It is pretty bad. That is not even close to Duress into Jace. So my opponent kept 7. My lands are clunky, and I don't have white. I also don't have early interaction, so I'm pretty sure I just have to ship this, even though the cards in my hand are quite good. And this has turn 2 Jace with a negate, so we're definitely in there. And Duress is phenomenal, but we don't have black mana. Duress is kind of overlapping with negate also, so I think we actually bottom this. That could be wrong, though. Because we don't necessarily have to Duress until turn 3. And then by then, we have a couple draw steps and a Jace activation, ideally. But I'm just going to bottom it. It's odd to have one of your best sideboard cards in the matchup in your scry, and then you just ship it to the bottom. But it kind of is what it is. And now, I don't know, now things kind of change. Like, I could play Mountain and hold open Counterspell, or I could play Impulse and Nomad Outpost. And I think I'm just going to hold open Counterspell. And then I'll kill the Rattleclaw kind of for free when I have an extra mana. It is strange that I'm under like too much pressure that I can't even play my Jace, but it just is what it is. I think Stroke is kind of a strictly better version of Negate in this matchup. So definitely use the Negate first. And now I can play Mountain, Impulse the Rattleclaw. Or I could play Outpost, maybe counter their spell, and then play Jace and Impulse next turn. Or if they don't play a spell worth countering, then I can just pick off the Rattleclaw at end of turn and then untap with Jace and Stroke. So I think I kind of like that better. Also, if we draw a black spell, then we can play it too, which would be nice. Uh-oh, getting frisky. It all works out. It all works out. My opponent had access to 5 mana and didn't crack their fetch land. So I'm going to stroke this. Try and keep them pinned on mana. Does mean my Jace has to flip, but I think that's completely fine. Nothing to really flash back. And that's the turn where I need the painful truths. Alright, that's a problem. Opponent gets to cast Chandra first. Assume they're both coming at Jace. Black, red, white. Redirect in case we draw Mantis Rider. If we draw land, we can just Chandra and attack the Chandra, which would be great. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright, so I could get blue-black and then get red-black, and then I have 3 red, 3 black, and 2 white. I think that's correct. One at you, one at Chandra. Take up on my elemental for value, and then it's 2 planeswalkers versus the world. And if we get our world broken, we can flashback Crackling Doom, so that's not really an issue. And then we can start going after our opponent, or we can try to draw into relevant stuff to stop whatever's coming up next. Ugin's obviously the worst thing, but it just kills our stuff. So 3-turn clock with Chandra, or we could just peel 2 fresh ones. I'm going to peel some fresh ones. Transgress is pretty nice, especially since I can flash it back. Ulamog and a Foothills. Cool. So, nothing to flash back. We'll just ship the turn, hold the land for potential Chandra activation next turn. And I think we just want to, cash in our cards. Want to have something left over if our opponent actually does peel on us and find something of relevance. Like an Ulamog or Ugin. Yeah, Oath's a good one. Things are getting dicey. Ulamog. Well, on the bright side, we have 3 things that they kind of have to kill, so there's that. And they don't have any Sanctums. So I guess you kill the 2 Jaces? I don't know. I'm already down 2 Crackling Dooms. Okay. I mean, I'm not super happy about that, but I'm fine with it. Maybe should have played the Mountain that turn, because I could draw Painful Truce and have like a pretty big turn. And our opponent just drew another big thing. Okay, just an archive. I mean, that's 2 cards, so it's kind of a dagger, but better than them just drawing a big thing, I think. Unless they draw 2 big things off the archive. Yeah, I should probably wait to cash that in against discard spells. And I don't know. I kind of think we just want to loot. It's not helping. Not helping. So no swamp, no plains, no mountain. So I have no basics left in my deck to fetch. Oh, I feel like I was in a good spot this game. And somewhere it all went wrong. Now I'm basically wondering if this Fiery Impulse is ever really going to do anything. Or if I want the land against potential World Breaker. So, Archive gets cracked, then we have to fade Big Spell. Well, Sanctum's good. That's a good start. If they have a big spell, and it looks like they do, then Sanctum is probably going to lead to my demise. Yup. We pretty much dead. We fended our opponent off for a while. We just needed to find like a dig or a Painful Truce or maybe even a Mantis Rider to just kind of put it away. And we did no such thing. Alright, so there's Mantis Rider, and Jace flashing back Crackling Doom is definitely not enough to kill the Ugin. So we can transgress, hit a World Breaker, play my land. Am I supposed to play this Mantis Rider or not? So they're going to tick up on me, go up to 11. If I draw another Mantis Rider, I can attack it down to 5. Then they minus, and I can draw a Doom or a Mantis Rider. I think that's better than just playing Rider, hitting it, playing Rider, hitting it. Maybe not, though. No clean answer to Ugin. Imagine that. Obviously, if they draw a World Breaker, then I should just play Rider this turn. But if they draw World Breaker, I think I'm going to lose anyway. Okay. So Chandra, we can hit it down to 5. That's good. That's pretty good. And I think we have to do that as opposed to attacking my opponent. Because otherwise they could Ultimate Ugin. If I split one Elemental at Ugin, one at them, they can still -6 kill my Chandra. Alright, so Oath turned up a World Breaker. That's bad. Wait, or was that the last one? This one turned up a Foothills. Okay, that's good. So we're actually live. Just giving me a glimmer of hope here. Ooh, okay. Okay. Well, I assume there's nothing there to transgress. And I think, if I hit Ugin for 6, Ugin's still there, and then it can kill Chandra, so I definitely don't want to do that. I just want to kill Ugin this turn. Then I have Chandra and Mantis Rider that they have to deal with. It's possible that, so I can Strand for Prairie Stream, but maybe it's better to just have a card in my hand in case I get, like, World Broken. I think that's probably correct. Do we get another turn? I think we might actually be winning this. Alright, Dig is nice. Dig is nice. Counterspell? And they just pack it up. So no Counterspell, but another Mantis Rider that was lethal, which I guess is kind of better. So we move on to 2-0 after defeating the very difficult ramp deck.